So a Keir Starmer supporter, who was also a former Corbyn aide, has openly said that people should vote for the Greens in Bristol. A former senior aide to Jeremy Corbyn, Laura Parker, has urged people to vote Green in one of the party's handful of target seats, the Bristol Central seat held by Labour Shadow Cabinet Minister Thangam Debonair, Labour list can reveal. Speaking on a panel on Saturday alongside Green Party Deputy Leader Zach Polansky, the former co-coordinator of Momentum said that she agreed with everything he had said. She joked, "For the person from the Labour Party governance and legal unit, I do agree with everything he said. Write it down. I don't care. And if you're in Bristol, vote Green." So Labour list said that she joked about it, but not going to lie, I mean, maybe she was just laughing while she said it, but I'm pretty sure she's sincere. I mean, she hasn't come out and said, it was all a joke, I didn't mean it. But I do have a problem with the way Labour list and the rest of the media have framed her as a former Corbyn aide, but didn't say anything about her being a Starmer supporter. So if you remember, she backed Keir Starmer as Labour leader, not Rebecca Long-Bailey, to which Starmer even shared on Twitter, saying, "Oh, look at this Momentum figure backing me. I'm a real lefty." I mean, obviously, he was lying. But I think it's an important detail to omit because she didn't say people should back Starmer after he won as an argument of unity. She willfully backed Keir Starmer over the left candidate RLB. Now, of course, she was duped by Starmer and, she believed his lies. But the reason why it's an important piece of context to leave out is that, this is significant. The media are portraying her as just another disgruntled Corbynite. This is within days of Owen Jones leaving Labour, and many will try to spin this as another tantrum from the hard left Tory-enabling Corbyn cultists, to which people will then think, this story isn't politically significant because, she's just another Corbynite. But in reality, it's not another lefty throwing their toys at the pram as the hardcore Starmerites love to portray. No, it's Keir Starmer's decisions that have pushed people like Laura away who were willing to support him. Now, I think Laura was and is evidence that the left are not purist. I mean, the majority of the left-leaning membership voted for Starmer, the same people who voted for Corbyn twice. Now, I don't think this omission is deliberate, but rather it's an unconscious bias. And I think the way the left and Corbynites, they're not Corbynites, they're just socialists, are seen in the media are, delegitimate political actors, a uniquely radical mob. Then any link to Jeremy Corbyn and the left, that's it, no other context needed, forget everything else. And I think that plays into a narrative, which is, I would say, historical revisionism, that Jeremy Corbyn was never actually popular to begin with. He was just a leader of some small Trotskyite clique, rather than the truth, which is that he was elected twice with a membership of 500,000. Whether he is or isn't popular right now, you have to admit that he was popular at least back then. But that's not a helpful narrative for the media that wants to portray the left as insignificant, unserious, a lot of time whinging bullies, which those labels are far more appropriate to the self-identified centrists. But yes, I think the development of Owen Jones, who has been, I would say, wedded to the Labour Party for a long time, finally coming out and saying, you know what, enough is enough. We have Laura Parker, who is a pretty big left-wing figure who held a fairly high position inside the Labour Party, which was working in the GLU, now seemingly supporting the Greens in Bristol anyway. And she's entirely correct. I think it's a really good tactical vote because polling has shown that the co-leader of the Greens, Carla Denyer, who is the candidate for Bristol, is tied with Thangam Debonair, and one poll showing she's ahead. Now, there are certain seats where I think there is only one choice, one of them being Bristol, and that is the Greens. Please don't support any independents there, even if they're good, because Carla has a real shot of winning, and she needs every single vote she can get. She's also a really good candidate. I mean, she used to be an engineer, so she's worked in the real world instead of some corporate lobbyist or advisor, which is basically half of the new Labour candidates at the next election, and she's a great eco-socialist. I think it's great that a significant person on the left, someone who clearly isn't a purist, because she was willing to back Starmer, has now said we should vote for the Greens. Look, many people were sceptical of Keir Starmer, like me. I mean, I never trusted him, and I knew he'd take Labour back to the right. I guess I was just surprised how right-wing he actually is. So for someone like Laura, who has met him, spent time with him, has far better knowledge of Starmer and his team than any of us do. I mean, there must have been an inkling from her that he wasn't as left-wing as he pretended to be. And if that's the case, then this development from Laura is all the more significant because presumably she was willing to compromise with Keir Starmer, was willing to back him, even if he potentially walked back on a lot of Corbyn policies. But even supporting a compromised Keir Starmer, she's now at the point where he's gone too far. And of course, that is speculation, but I think that's worth pointing out. So if you are from Bristol or you're going to uni there at the time of the election, I think it is a moral imperative to vote for the Greens and kick out the god-awful Thangam Debonair. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like and drop a comment. It's good for the algorithm and I'm interested in what you have to say. If you're not already subscribed, please do and hit the notification bell. You can also support this channel by becoming a member for 99p per month. And if you're feeling a little more generous, then you can support us on Patreon for £3 or £5 per month. This channel for a while has been uploading every single day, and it's quite a lot of work that is still voluntary and scheduled around my paid work. But I have so much ambition, expect in the future to see more variety in content, such as interviews and Vox Pops. But I want this to be a fully fledged media organisation where not only is this my full-time job, but to have multiple people working for Turn Left. I like to see a live show in the future, more content that delves into culture, history, and much more. But that can only be done if there's money. So please, if you can, support us in any way that's in your capacity. And thank you to existing members, subscribers, and patrons. See you next time.